Hey everybody, welcome back to the Center for Off-Road Research Shenanigans and Science Technical Division. And I'm just going to show you one of the things that kind of bothers me about this truck is the fact that it literally has the same amount of frame clearance as my TRX Sport, and from the ground to the frame. And I think that's really excessive given the length, the width between the tires. If you put it up next to my TRX, it's a much longer wheelbase and has the same ground clearance. And I think it's unnecessarily throwing away the center of gravity. And right here, you see the shock mount point. It actually droops down and then comes back up. What I would like to see is this particular piece of plastic right here can be unbolted from a screw here and a screw here and a screw back here. I would love to see somebody 3D print a new upper shock mount that mounts the top of the shock up here. And the reason for that is I don't want to get this thing kind of slammed down, because one of the things it does not have is a decent center of gravity, and I want the shock to actually sort of sit right about there. I want it almost to this this frame rail that goes back. And another thing on the front, I'd kind of like to see some hoops made, that go over the top, and have the upper shock mount up here. And one of the things I was noticing is this panel in here looks like it can unbolt. So if it can, and I believe it can, you just have to get a little creative with it, but I think it can unbolt, and we could remove that whole section that holds this upper shock mount. And I wouldn't even mind having a section cut in the hood here. If you see the half-done RudyCon on Matt's Off-Road Recovery, Rudy has hoops that go up over his hood so they can mount a taller shock with greater travel. And I would love to see something here done with that. So 3D guys, go ahead and try to recreate this shape here, but with a hoop, so that we can kind of slam this thing, because it just sits way too high to be any good right now. Sorry about the video here. I'm trying to make do, but it needs to almost be down here. It would look better, and it would perform much better too. So I've got this one undone right now, because when it's in its proper place, this thing just sits way up in the air, and it's kind of silly. It doesn't need to be that high. And I was having center of gravity issues with it when I took it out to Red Rock. So we need to get a new, like I said, new hoops here, and a shock mount up here instead of down below this rail. It needs to be about here. And this thing, if you did that alone to this truck, it would be worlds better when you start climbing, and you're not going to lose that much on frame clearance. So that's what I'd like to see next. I mean, even over brass, we need to get this thing lowered. That's all for tonight.